Go ahead.
How do you bounce back from a game like this?
Yeah, I think we hung in there the first half. I think down 11 at halftime, and really hadn't made a shot. I felt like if we continued to defend, not that we were perfect, but I thought we put ourselves in a decent position. And then obviously the third quarter, was a dagger. We have to regroup a little bit, not a little bit. We need to regroup, and some of that, is finding. Collectively, I think we need to communicate. If there's one thing that you point to that I see that's not there that can fix a lot of things, whatever those situations are, whether it's small pick and roll, it's transition defense, we have to be willing to talk and point all those different things to get us on the same page on both ends. And I thought our shot selection tonight was good. We didn't see the ball go in. There's still sometimes we're passing shots up, but we've got to keep taking open looks. And when you're not seeing the ball go in, that's hard too.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. Psychologically, how does not seeing the ball go in kind of affect everything else on the court?
Yeah, I mean, guys are human, and there's certainly a lift when you feel like you're doing the right thing and you're not rewarded for it ultimately by when you're scoring. That hasn't been, we've had bad shooting nights, but I didn't think, we came apart from that. As I said, there's times when you have to take those if they're, good shots. And that's not to say you don't drive the ball either, but quick decisions and then kick it. When the ball changed sides of the floor, I thought good things happened. But again, you're in transition defense situations even more. And we got driven. We've got to do a better job containing the ball, particularly, when we're more aggressive in pick and roll, we're going to be in closeout situations. And they hit a lot of those shots early, and then as the game went on, they began to drive us in those closeout situations.
Coach, you emptied your bench for the second game in a row. A lot of people might think those are garbage minutes, but people like Trent and Garrison have gotten some good playing time off of that. I'm curious to know, what are you looking for when you do that and you put those players in?
Really the same thing that you're looking for, with the rotational guys. You want them to be disciplined defensively. You want them to get back and execute and try to generate good shots.
In the third quarter, I think it was 8:40, you called the timeout after you got beaten deep on a fast break. I'm curious, what specifically did you see there that you needed to address?
Well, it was more than just one possession. It was accumulation. That's usually when those timeouts come. If you're going to call an early timeout before the mandatory, that you see, usually you see a run, and that's what that was. They leak out after they contest shots, and for the most part, we did a good job of the other guy in the high quadrant getting back, and sometimes there was a few times it just kind of went over an extended hand. But again, we have to get it done in those situations, and our guys know that, and we call the timeout to get refocused and have a good possession offensively.
When you go down 10 early on in the second quarter and a team like yours that shoots a lot from three, is there an emphasis or focus to look to the three even when in the first quarter you might not have shot?
Yeah, this is like a very common debate. When a team isn't shooting well, everybody says go inside. And it really has, if you have a post presence like that, and we have some guys that post, go inside to me means drive the ball, and oftentimes, or make the right decision, and oftentimes you're not going to get all the way to the rim. We played through the post a couple times tonight, and I thought we used our post guys to pass the ball. Yes, there's a point when the ball's not going in that you don't want to just, but you don't want to pass shots up, I think it has more to do with what your focus is. And, there's times when you can make a quick decision and get to the rim, draw a foul. That's usually something that is really good as far as stopping a run. And when you're not making. But the other part is if people close out on you and they're not guarding you, it's very difficult to drive them because you're driving into a crowd, and a lot of times, you don't get anything. That happened a few times tonight. We had some shot clock violations because we passed up shots, and then the next shot you get or the next opportunity for a shot is not a good one. And like I said, if you take those shots, you have a chance to rebound them too. And if they're a good shot, for a team that, we've had situations before where you're not making, and particularly when you're down later, you want to keep shooting because some of those shots get you back, back in the game. I wouldn't want to tell Bogey, to pass up open ones. I would like our guys to catch and drive the ball and then kick it, but that might end up being a 3-2,
Given this is the second poor performance in a row on a back-to-back, do you just chalk this up to just a bad performance on the court, or do you feel that any of the external noise maybe surrounding the team is having any effect on you guys?
I think, tonight was different than last night. Last night we were on our heels the entire game. It may not have looked as different on the box score, but those were two different games. As I said, I thought we were generating good shots tonight. They weren't going in. And we had possessions. There was a number of possessions defensively where we guarded well, and Kuzma hit a tough turnaround over an extended hand. The ball bounces, the wrong way, and they get a shot. So we have to play through those possessions. And any time, whether it's you're down, you're not playing well, there's always opportunities to kind of look outside. And I think our guys continue to be focused. And as I said, to regroup a little bit right now is a good thing. And we're playing a lot of games. We're 4-6. We've got some games coming quickly, and not a lot of time to practice and regroup that way. But I think just psychologically for us to dig in and focus. And as I said, I think if we play, we can play better. But I think defensively there was more focus, and we need to see the ball go in. And we'll have a chance to have a very different result. Okay.
Quinn, the opposing paint points obviously were a big problem in the first quarter. Indiana last night, and again tonight, Washington had 60 points in the paint, had a bunch in that run in the third quarter. What do you attribute that to, and what's the potential fix?
Well, there's two situations. One, I think we've got to do a better job guarding the ball, and as I said before, that could mean closing out. But trying to not give direct line drives where we can help. And then there's other situations where, you've got a 6'8" Advia. We're giving up some physicality in those situations, and people are putting their shoulder down and getting into us, and it's difficult for us to, those are higher percentage shots for those guys. And again, it gets back to the same thing. Not allowing the ball to get in there. But as I said, if someone's going full speed and they're driving into you and bumping you, got to make a stand. We had 2 or 3 times we tried to step in front and take a charge. That's one thing we can do. Clint can come over and contest a shot, but if it's deep like that, the ball is in the paint. There's offensive rebounding opportunities. As I'm going through this, these are all the things we need to do better.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.